All right. It's episode 2 of the Russian River Native series, and we got our second species today. We're gonna do Prickly Sculpin. Let's get into the shop, and then I'll go over the plan. The acoustics in the shop can tend to be a little bit echoey, so I'm just gonna do this all in voiceover. So the idea with this bait is to be like a hard body jig. Instead of having a soft plastic trailer off the back, I'm going to make the tail end of the bait float so that it still has a lot of that action. I'm using a top hook setup with a treble hook and like a magnet to hold it in place. I think that's the best way to do this, just so that the hook stays in like a decent position for like a good hookup ratio. The overall idea with the bait is to make it like a feeding sculpin, with its like head down in the rocks and its tail up in the water column, kind of swinging around. So all of the weight is going to go to the head, and then the tail sections aren't going to have any, so that it kind of floats like that. So I'm not going to lie, this bait just didn't really go as planned. Like the action and everything turns out pretty decent in the end, but I didn't get as much detail on it as I was hoping. The like body shape that I made was really hard to get the carvings to look good on and to like be clear. And then also, like, I realized that having all the extra fins was gonna make like the hookup ratio really bad, so I just ended up leaving those out. I mean, not all of them. It still has the tail fin and like that sort of dorsal back section fin. Anyways, enjoy the rest of the build. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Why did the video just jump cut and the bait is already like finished? Well, like I was saying earlier, things did not go to plan with this lure. I spent days trying to fix and rework this bait. Only like half of this lure is from the same piece of wood that I started with. All that's to say, I didn't film as much as I should have because this bait was giving me issues. But don't you worry. This isn't the last problem I had with this bait. Also, I just realized I haven't talked about this fish, like, at all, so let's do that while I paint. Of course, the Prickly Sculpin is another of the native species of the Russian River. They're not the only sculpin species in the Russian River, they are, however, the largest. I haven't seen any of these guys myself, so I don't know how prevalent they are in the system, though they are a small bottom-dwelling species, so that kind of makes sense. I don't know how often the bass in the river feed on these guys, especially considering there are so many options in this river, but I don't doubt they feed on them from time to time. And when I say there's so many options, I mean like there's a ton. They have like the normal
species that they would regularly feed on. Like there's crawfish and there's non-native bluegill, green sunfish, small catfish, stuff like that. But then there's also like the young steelhead and salmon. There's the young pike minnow. There's the hardheads. There's the tule perch. There's just a ton of things for them to eat. And for those of you who care, here's some of the action footage.
Alright, we're out on the water. starting the day with this guy. Let's see if we can get a bite.
Sorry about the wind there, but it's hardly gonna matter. So here's the deal. I don't want to waste your time. I fished for, I don't know, something like 3 hours with this bait specifically, and like 5 hours overall. I didn't get a single bite, so I'm just not going to show you that. In the interest of getting this video out, I'm going to post it without the fish catch. It kind of sucks that this happened last time too, but I did catch a fish in my last video with the jerkbait, and I'm going to do my best to get a fish next video with this bait. I know a lot of you are here for the lure build specifically, so I'm sure you're not going to be too broken up about the fact that I didn't get a fish on it. I hope you enjoyed the video regardless. If you did, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to see more content from me, hit that subscribe button. As always, my Etsy shop where you can buy my lure and my Instagram where you can contact me are going to be in the description. And yeah, I'll see you next time.